Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Raudhatul Jannah. I'm from group 2. As a four speakers, I'm going to explain about code switchings or code mixings. Now, what is code switchings or as well known as code mixings? It is occurs when a speaker alternates between two or more languages or language varieties in the context of a single conversation. Well, I give you the example like this. Basically, I am Palembangese and my mother tongue is Palembang. And then I learn English as my foreign language. When I try to speak with my friends that is having the same origins as me, and then I try to talk in English because I have limited vocabulary in English, or not all vocabulary that I understand or I know, I can combine my English with Palembangese because I talk to my friends that is having the same origins as me. Therefore, when we are talking and we mix our language, we still understand what do we mean. Okay, that's the simple example or code switchings. We have talked about the same topic, but we mix the language itself. Okay, well guys, talking about code switchings, it is actually influenced by social factors. First, social factors means in here participant, solidarity, and status. Well, it relates to the ethnics, races to whom that you are talking to, the relationship between you and the person or the addressee, the one that responds your conversations. Talking about a participant, you can code switch or code mixing your language when you know to whom that you are talking to, not the stranger. It is the same as the status, the signal that you have a relationship. Maybe you are the close friend, maybe you are the mother of someone, then you have the same mother tongue. Or you can combine, for example, I have told you English is your foreign language, and then you can combine Palembangese to the person that same origin or ethnics or races as you. It means that you have the same solidarity with them. Okay, and then let's move on to the example. In example 10, okay, in our guidebook, page 36, exactly, between Jane and Peter. These conversations in the beginning talking about Jane who greet Peter and then asking about Peter's wife. It means that in here, if Jane know about the Peter family, they have relationship. Probably we can guess the relationship is from neighbor or family and others. And then in here, basically, however, they are talking in bookmail language and Renmol language, but they provide in this example an English versions. We can know it if it is bookmail language is in a small capitals, and in run mail in lower capital or lowercase. First, Jane asked to Peter, "Hello Peter, how is your wife now?" "Oh, she's much better. Thank you, Jane. She is out of hospital and conversing well." Well, we have no right in here. Okay. book mail is used. Okay. Now it means that in here they can combine their language because they have known each other, but they directly switch their conversations because the situations that occur or exist in that things, they are in the place, probably in the Peter office. Therefore in here, however, they can use their own mother tongue or their informal language. They can switch their language itself. That's the functions of code switchings or code mixings. And then the second factors that influence code switchings or code mixing exist. It because of the topic that you are talking to. Right, I have told you, it depends on you. You are going to talk about the formal topic or informal topic. For example, you are talking about the topic that has known for all people. It means that in here you use the same language because not all of people understand if you code switch or code mixing or you combine that language. It differs when you are talking the topic that familiar only with a certain ethnics or a certain ethnics or identity. For example, I talk about Benteng Kota Besar as the monument in Palembang. Probably in the beginning when I tell the story, I use Indonesia. And then after that, I can combine my language into Palembang because maybe the speakers that hear or listen about this topic or this informations, it is all people from Palembang. Okay, now let's see the example in page 38, example 12. In here, Lee as the speaker talking about people here get divorced easily, like exchanging foul goods in China. It is not the same. And then she, or I don't know, it is he or Lee, or I mean like Lee, it is the name of girl or woman, just like let it be probably. Okay, Lee directly changed the language from English to Chinese because probably this topic appropriate with the Chinese people. Therefore, in the beginning, she or he used English and then directly change the proverb in the proverb from China. So the person who understands this topic, of course, the one that can speak English, but the ethnic identity, it comes from China, right? And then third, so it means that, okay, the second factors is about topic. Topic, it can trigger a switch to the appropriate code. Now let's move on. The third factors that influence the code mixings or as well known as code switchings. Switchings for effective functions. So basically in here, switchings for effective functions. Why we combine our language? Because to express effective rather than referential meaning. What do we mean by this? First, in here, effective means feeling, and referential meaning means the informations. For example, I am as a teacher. Okay, most of people or most of the students, my students, it comes from the same identity, the same ethnics. We use English, and I am as an English teacher. Okay, I use English when I try to explain the material in front of my students. Okay, but I have known the participant of my class, most of them come from Palembang. So in here, I use the code switchings to express affective, to facilitate the learning process, being cheerful. Because probably, if I always use English, it is monotone. Okay? Therefore, to make it cheerful, I combine. Because I'm from Palembang also, my origin from Palembang, my student is from Palembang, I can make a joke. I can make a joke with my students. However, we are learning English now. To make it cheerful, I use Palembangese when I try to make that joke. Therefore, that will make my students easy to understand. In case if I don't change my language, I use English starting from the beginning until the end of my explanations. And however I try to joke to my students, they just learn about English. They don't know exactly. They will not laugh because if I make a joke in English way, because they don't understand. Therefore, we need to combine our language to make them understand. That's do we mean by switching for effective function. It is to express an effective, to share our feeling, to share the happiness, to create the joke, rather than to give the informations or meaning. That's all about my explanations, and thank you for watching. I'm so sorry for all the mistakes, and see you later. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.